audience ever. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know if it's that ad. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. As you can tell, I don't speak Swedish, though I wish I could. I wish I could. And so I didn't understand that last ad, but I so felt your love for it all the way backstage. Now imagine if we could create a world where people could love ads like that, right? That we create ads that everyone can't help but love all the time. Well, thanks to YouTube, we're getting closer to making that happen. As the director of US Creative Works, my team and I, we have the privilege of working with a whole array of advertisers and their agencies to develop the best possible, most effective ads and branded content for YouTube. Now, way before that, I studied social anthropology, and I brought my fascination for understanding people to the creative agency space where I was a brand planner for ages, and I loved it. As a practitioner, I loved making ads. But as a consumer, didn't always love ads. Most of the time, I didn't love them. I don't know, maybe I felt like they didn't really speak to me the way I wanted to be spoken to. Or they didn't reflect my life. Or they were just kind of boring. They just didn't get me. They didn't understand me. Now, maybe you could argue I'm a little weird, right? I'm a slightly hyper New York mother with a real base sense of humor. I love watching fashion videos on YouTube, and that's just the beginning. But aren't we all kind of weird, right? A little idiosyncratic. I mean, let's face it, we've all been in the ad industry in some shape or form for a long time, and sometimes our ads have nailed it, and sometimes they didn't. But what if we could create ads that everybody loves all the time because they really did get us. They really did get people as the multidimensional, idiosyncratic people that they are, not just some isolated demographic. And what if we could create ads that really got how people get inspired by products and services and how they wanted to engage with them? And what if we could create ads that really got what people expected from brands, how they wanted them to behave in the world at large? I mean, the more a brand can get someone, think about how much more it could grow. Well, as I said before, thanks to YouTube, we're getting closer to making that a reality. See, YouTube isn't just a platform to put your ads in. It's a playground with so many different creative elements and aspects to it that enable us to create ads that really connect with people. Thanks to its insight mining tools, where we can really dig underneath the surface of what drives people. And thanks to the creative variety it offers in terms of ad length and orientation. And thanks to the access it gives us to the very people who influence us now. And you saw some of them on stage, creators. And thanks to its interactive capabilities and its extended technologies, YouTube allows us to create ads that people can really love. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to share just a few examples of some brands we work with closely in the US who have really leaned into the YouTube playground and created those ad experiences that really got people and ultimately moved them. Let's begin, okay? Okay. So, and I haven't even started yet. All right, so to get your feet wet with what getting them really means, let's start with Volvo Cars. Yeah, okay. So Volvo asked us to help them launch their new plug-in hybrid, the XC60. Now, Volvo Cars had a few challenges ahead of it. First, it's not the biggest car brand in the US, so it really had to stand out. And it had to stand out amidst all the electric vehicle excitement out there. And then finally, another challenge is that they were going after a new, younger, multicultural consumer. Their goal: make the XC60 cool, full stop. Now, I know what you're thinking. Every brand wants to be cool, you know, but it's really hard, right? I mean, it's really hard to be cool. You have to really understand the people you're trying to appeal to. In this case, you have to really get this younger, multicultural consumer. You have to understand their lingua franca, right? Their hidden jokes, what they value. Well, when we dug into our insight mining tools, we saw an interesting overlap between the interests of this younger multicultural consumer, and when they're interested in Volvo, there was an overlap with an interest in music. The other thing we knew about this consumer is that they were really leaned into creators as their source of influence, way more than brands. So, we convinced Volvo Cars to take a leap of faith and relinquish some control over the story development process and partner with two amazing YouTube creators, Keely Bumford and Andrew Wong, and they're musicians. And what they did is they took that classic car walkabout, you know, when you open and shut the doors and turn on and off the lights in the car, and they reinterpreted it to music, specifically the sounds and the beats of the Android-enabled vehicle. Now, Volvo Cars didn't go in with their eyes closed, right? Thanks to our experimentation capabilities, they were able to test a few versions of the ads, some that focused on luxury, some that focused on technology, to see what would rise to the surface. And here's an example from that campaign. Super cool, right? Now that's cool. And in fact, it led overnight to a double of the search lift for this car. And moreover, and this is new news to everyone, right? So you're the first to hear it. In about a week or so, we're launching the next version of this campaign, also with an amazing musician who's a YouTube creator. Her name is Chloe Flower, and she is a pianist and a composer. So, thanks to the experimentation capabilities, thanks to our insight mining tools, thanks to the access to creators, we were able to create an experience of really cool ad experiences that really got this younger multicultural consumer and ultimately move them, both figuratively and we hope literally. Now, if Volvo Cars had to take a leap of faith to get this younger multicultural consumer, this next brand had to take a quantum leap. NBC Universal asked us to help them reintroduce an 80s TV show classic to a modern audience. This show is about the main character being stuck in moments in time. Maybe it's a world war, or maybe it's a concert at Woodstock, and he needs to get home. Now, if you didn't guess from the intro of my case here, the show is called Quantum Leap. Yes. Okay, and so Quantum Leap needed to get on people's radar, we need to make it fun, and we needed to get it watched big time. Now, fun. Another one of those throwaway words like cool, right? But fun is really important. I mean, I think we all realized that during COVID. But what does it mean? It's multi-interpretable. What does fun mean today? Well, this is where the YouTube playground helped us again. Google searches showed us that there were spikes in interest, spikes in searches for travel, No surprise, this was post-pandemic, and people wanted to get out there. They wanted to have adventure. They didn't want to be stuck at home. Well, good news, the show is all about adventure, though the main character, his name is Ben Song, wants to come home. The other thing we knew about this audience is that they really love the participatory nature of YouTube, the interactive nature of YouTube. So ask ourselves, how can we combine these two insights? This is where the skippable nature of our ads and video ad sequencing came into play. We created a series of choose-your-own-adventure experiences where, as soon as the ad comes on, the Ben Song character is stuck in some crazy place, some moment in time, and he's asking to come home. How can you get him to come home? Skip the actual ad. He literally is saying that at the beginning. I mean, that's unheard of. No brand wants us to skip, but he's saying, please skip. Now, you can choose to skip, or if you want to have some adventure, you stay and you watch the rest of the ad. You want to live vicariously through him. Now, depending on whether you skipped or watched, then you get served another ad, and it knows whether you skipped or watch the last ad. And again, the Ben Song character is stuck in a moment in time, and he's asking you to skip. And you can choose to skip, or you can watch and not let him go home right away. This happens 3 times, 3 different ad experiences, and then at the end, you get served up the promo. Now, I know this is hard to follow theoretically, so we're going to experience it for ourselves. And in this case, I'm going to be the user. Okay, so I'm going to decide whether we skip or whether we watch. All right, so play the first one.
Hey, I'm Dr. Ben Song from the Quantum Leap Project. Click the skip button to help me leap out of here. Hurry! I don't have much time. I was brought back here to the 80s? Please hit the skip button now.
No.
Right here.
Should we skip? Should we watch? Now, I like adventure. I mean, after all, here I am in Sweden and not sitting on my sofa in New York eating popcorn, right? So I actually want to watch the whole experience.
Really?
Let's see what happens.
You're not going to help me. Please don't make me go through with this, please. All right. This is going to be bad. Real bad.
Los Angeles! Are you ready for some noise? Let's do this! Let me hear you!
Oh,
Okay, so now I get served the next ad.
Hi again. I know you didn't
He
hit
knows
skip when I asked.
that I skipped, so he's kind of mad. But should I skip? Should I watch?
Hit that
Well, you
skip
know what?
button
I
so
have a
can
lot to
leap
share with you
another
today, so
time.
we're going to skip this
I can't
one.
jump out of this plane.
Okay, so you get the idea, and then we would be served up the next ad in the promo. Okay, I mean, super fun, right? Well, I'll tell you how I know it worked, because NBC Universal, when it came time to filming the 2nd season of the show, they set aside time for the Ben Song character to speak at camera using our ad copy. I mean, they are actually making the ads for us. So awesome. So, thanks to our Google searches mechanism, right? And thanks to video ad sequencing and the skippable nature of our ads, we were able to create a fun experience like no other. Now, lest you think that YouTube is only just about fun and being cool, think again, because it can also be quite profound. Nurtec OTD, which is Pfizer's migraine medication, they were launching the first of its kind migraine medication that doesn't just stop migraines, but prevents them from happening. This was kind of unheard of before. So they asked us to help them. Now, when they first briefed us, they shared with us an interesting insight, which is that there are a few key triggers to migraines. One of them is sudden changes in weather, specifically drops in barometric pressure. When those drops happen, people start getting those symptoms. So we thought, is there a way to somehow connect our ads to those drops in barometric pressure? Like, could we create an early warning migraine alert system? So we got together with our engineering friends, and we figured out a way to link forecasting data for drops in barometric pressure to our ads so we could dynamically serve those ads to the markets, to those cities or towns that were experiencing those drops. And then, with creative automation, we created 93 personalized ads for every possible city that could experience this. We were basically saying, hey, watch out, sudden changes in weather are happening, but don't worry, we got you. So you're going to start seeing some ads popping up. They're not going to play out loud, but you get a sense. So basically, we're saying like, hello, Palm Springs, be on alert, or hello, Kansas City, be on alert. Talk about getting people, right? I mean, this combo of engineering meets creative automation meant we were able to send a message when it mattered with the information that mattered. We weren't just hacking a product here, right? We were empowering people. Now, normally, I would stop here, right? Because 3 cases are the charm. That's kind of the rule in presenting. But I'm going to break the rule, and if you can indulge me with one more case, I'll be quick. But I wanted to share it with you because, 1, it's about a hot topic, sustainability. 2, it leverages something really important about YouTube, which is creative variety. And 3rd, it won not just 1, but 3 Cannes Lion Awards just a few months ago. And this is a story about Claritin. Claritin is Bayer's allergy medication. And they shared with us an awesome insight, which was supposedly we learned in like 3rd grade, but I don't remember this at all, which is that while there are many species of trees out there, there are 2 genders of trees: female trees and male trees. Who knew, right? But this gets really interesting because most of the trees out there are male trees. And male trees actually emit a lot of pollen. So for someone like me who's an allergy sufferer, like I can't experience nature as much. But female trees don't emit pollen. And not only that, they absorb the pollen. I mean, I could just stop right there. I mean, that is so freaking cool, right? So Claritin said, okay, we're gonna go and put out a campaign that's all about encouraging people to plant female trees. They called it the Diversity campaign, right? Now, we realized, it's not enough just to tell the message, right? You have to make sure people really absorb it. Haha. No, but really, that they really absorb it. So that means we have to connect with people the way everyone likes to absorb content, right? Across devices, in short form, long form, CTV, vertical, you name it. So that's what we did. And research tells us that the more diverse the assets, the higher performing the campaign, as you see from these examples, right? Super cool. And it worked. It led to a 255% increase in searches for Claritin. And more than that, it really got the audience today, the consumer today, change people's minds and maybe even the earth. So I hope you see from these various examples, and there are many more, that the YouTube playground is such a place for us to create those ads that can really connect with people. And this is just the beginning, right? With generative AI, you can only imagine the tools that we're going to be able to leverage. And in fact, I was at a YouTube creator event last week. I had the privilege of going in New York. It's called Made on YouTube, where we announced some of these new tools. And while I can't predict the future of everything that's going to be created, I can tell you that we're going to be able to create that many more messages to that many more people, no matter their idiosyncrasies. Even a slightly hyper New York mother with a base sense of humor that loves fashion videos. But we don't have to wait for that. I mean, I hope you see from these examples that YouTube is ripe for all of us to really dig in and be creative and make those ads that really get people, and ultimately, those ads that we can all really, really love. Thank you. Tack så mycket. Thank you.